Hey guys, Jason here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing Joker Folie à Deux, or Folie à Deux, depending on how you say it. This is the sequel to the first Joker. I actually rewatched it last night. Wasn't as good as I remembered, but yeah, here are my thoughts on this movie. Going into it, I knew it was going to be a divisive movie. 50% of people are going to like it, 50% of people are going to hate it. And I'm sort of in the middle, I guess. There are a lot of things I like in this movie, there are a lot of things I didn't like, but I think overall the ending was very disappointing. I always felt like this movie was very pointless. I never felt like we needed the sequel to the second one. But when you start introducing characters like Harley Quinn, and we get a courtroom drama and a musical aspect of it, like that's some good potential right there. But they did kind of drop the ball with this movie. They wasted, ideas that we could have had. So the musical aspect, it wasn't as bad as people were trying to like hype it up to be like, oh, this is cringe, this is stupid. It's fine. They use it in a creative where I'm like, okay, it's kind of necessary to be in the movie. We see like the inside of Arthur's mind, how he uses music to escape from the real world. That was a very creative way to do that. And we have Lady Gaga. She was very good in this movie. How are you not gonna have Lady Gaga sing in a movie? Like, let's be real. She wasn't the best Harley Quinn. I do like Margot Robbie a lot more than her. She just didn't look like Harley Quinn that much, and they did change her origin story, which I thought was a kind of a creative thing to do, but they still kind of kept it relatively the same. Yeah, I like the courtroom drama a lot, and them debating, was it a mental illness? Was Arthur born this way? Or is it a Joker? Is it a split personality? Arthur needs to deal with him living up to the name of Joker. Is he Joker or is he Arthur? Like, he needs to live up to that. Is Joker even a real person? Is it just Arthur's imagination? And yeah, those are really cool ideas. They do a lot of cool scenes, a lot of intense scenes. The suspense in this movie is on par with the first movie, like scenes on the subway where he kills all those people and when he kills Murray Franklin. There are scenes in this movie that are on par with that. They had that same, like shaking in your seat in the theater. I respect that, and I respect Todd Phillips trying to do something different, and he didn't really care. He's like, fuck it, I don't want to make a sequel. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want with this movie. And he did whatever the fuck he wants. The opening was fucking weird, and the ending was fucking weird. So I liked a lot of things in this movie. I realized that, Joker's in prison. How are they gonna really make a movie out of that? But they managed to do it. They managed to make a 2-hour movie out of Joker being in prison. So I respect that. But the ending, I thought there were going to be 30 minutes left of this movie, and it just ends. It was kind of like Halloween Kills, that type of abrupt ending. I thought this movie was going to be like more like Halloween Ends, something that goes against the grain. People hate it, but I love that movie. I thought this was going to be the Halloween Ends of 2024, but it really just wasn't. The ending, I want to talk about it, so I'm going to get into spoilers, but in conclusion, for spoiler-free review, it was a lot of creative ideas, a lot of good directing, the lighting, the cinematography was perfect, but it was wasted potential. That's my spoiler-free review. Now going into spoilers, so you can leave now if you don't want to get spoiled, or if you do, you can stay. So Joker fucking dies at the end of this movie, which was a super ballsy move. I was kind of expecting it, but the way it happened was so abrupt. It was just a regular scene with an inmate, and he just gets stabbed to death. Joker gets stabbed to death by a random inmate that, like, we saw a couple times in the movie, like just sort of in the background. He comes out of nowhere, tells him a joke, stabs him to death. Roll credits. And I'm thinking, like, Harley broke up with Joker, and then she just left him. That was her last scene in the movie. It just felt so out of nowhere and kind of just, I guess, realistic. I mean, that's how people die. It just happens. But then the movie just ends. I felt like there was so much more we could have done with the movie, but it just ended in such a shocking way. And he carves a smile into his face, and people saying, is that Heath Ledger? Is this connected to The Dark Knight? No, it's not. Harvey Dent's in this movie, and he gets his face blown off, and you see Two-Face. I actually thought Heath Ledger was in the car scene after the bomb goes off in the courtroom, which was a fucking surprise to me. That scared the shit out of me in the theater. I thought the guy dressed up as Joker was like a digitally de-aged AI Heath Ledger. I had no idea. My heart was fucking pounding when I saw it. I'm like, is that Heath Ledger? Is fucking Heath Ledger in this movie? Did they bring him back from the dead? I don't think that was him. It just looked like a guy with long hair with Joker makeup. It looked like him though. I don't really have much to say about this movie. It's actually a lot to process. I felt very sad when the movie ended, and there's no after credit scene, so I kind of felt like a fucking loser being the only person waiting for an after credit scene while everyone else left. Anyway, in conclusion, I'm 50-50 on it. I think it was a decent watch. I'd watch it again just to see some of the details I missed, but Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to be bad. There's not going to be a third one because Joker's dead, obviously. But I'm glad we got to see more of Walking Phoenix's version of Joker. We got to see him, actually tell jokes and kind of be like the comic version of him, but not really. He's still a fucking loser, and he says there's no Joker. There is no Joker in this movie. This is just a Batman-less Joker who's a loser and a virgin, and yeah. So that was a very ballsy move, and I respect Todd Phillips for that. Go watch the movie, I guess, if you want to be disappointed. Go ahead.